I ran after him and found him on the floor, just screaming. He's gonna be needing surgery. You okay? Hi guys, so welcome back to our channel. Sorry for the background of this video. I usually try my best to make it look decent, but honestly it doesn't even matter. I don't even care at this point because I'm trying to explain something that happened. Hubby is in the hospital and yeah, it was just like a really long night. Yeah, I'm just jumping right into it. He's in the hospital and he's currently there, and the kids and I are at home. We spent the night home. He got really ill last night and I had to call the ambulance, and the ambulance came and got him. That's like the first time the ambulance had to ever came to our house. Like, I've never had to actually dial 911 before, and things got serious really fast. So I'm gonna just give you guys a little bit of the backstory as to what's happened, and to kind of fill you in on what's happening. 2 weeks ago, Aaron was complaining of, he was complaining of having like some ache in the bottom of his stomach, like right above his groin area, and he was saying how painful it is. He even came home from work one day, and honestly, my husband is not the type to leave work to come home. Like, he would usually tough it up and stick it through. If you guys know about his last incident when he had to go to the hospital, was when he had his appendix out. He was in a lot of pain for quite some time, and he came home like right at the cusp when the pain was like really bad. And then I had to drive him to the hospital. So in that case, like, he was in pain, but it was tolerable because I was able to drive him. Last night was a different story. Like, I've never seen him in so much pain. Like, he was on the ground, he couldn't move, he was screaming. So backstory is, he was at work 2 weeks ago. This pain was already kind of festering for the past 2 weeks, and he didn't really tend to it. And then there's one day when he called, he said, "Sarah, I'm coming home. Like, I'm in so much pain. I think I'm coming home." And he came home early this one day. And I guess by the time he came home, it was still there, but it wasn't severe as he felt it during work. So that passed, and he went to work the next day, and he went on. And every day he feels like a little bit of it there, and he feels discomfort here and there, but he doesn't do anything about it because he feel like, I guess, it disappears. And I think that's what a lot of people tend to do. They feel the pain and then they kind of ignore it if it goes away, and the problem doesn't mean that it's necessarily fixed or gone on its own. So the day at the beach when I was saying that we got in a big argument, I'm going to put this up there, like, we got in an argument and he went for a walk. And that's kind of like what, it's the go-to thing to just calm down and reset your mind and just be in a better space. And I know he's also trying to get exercise in, so he was already feeling some kind of guilt from eating all types of crap, and he wanted to work, to get some exercise in. So he went for a walk, and it turned into like a big walk, like an hour and a half, 2 hour walk, and he felt a lot of pain, I guess, on the way home, because he walked so far away that by the time he got back, like, he had to walk back home. Needless to say, that night when he got home, he actually urinated blood. And that was kind of scary. I mean, I didn't get to see it to really document it. Not that I would film it for you guys. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't document, but I mean, like, I do like to know what's going on, because then I can speak for him. Because last night, even when the ambulance arrived here, they talked about, and they're asking the color of it and stuff, and I couldn't tell. And he was so far gone, like, in terms of in pain, that he could barely answer any of the questions. So, and that's another thing, I'll get to that in a minute. But went for a long walk, came back, urinated blood, and I don't know, like, he's like, "Sarah, I think I'm gonna have to go in." And he looks it up and he thinks he knows what it might be, but he's not sure. Then it subsides the next day. He starts urinating properly, the pain kind of dissipates, and now we're back to where we started. "Oh, we feel like we're okay." And I was like, "Babes, you should go in. You should go get checked." From what I've read and what I've also studied in psychology, is like, a lot of men delay going to the doctor because he's afraid of needles. He is terrified, like deathly terrified of needles. So he will do, at any cost, he will avoid getting it. He's like, "Yeah, you're right." But he still never made it in. Long story short, he arrived home last night you know, we had pizza last night because I wasn't going to cook. Today's family night. It's usually pizza night, but I'm going to make something today, even though it does, I don't even know now because he's still in the hospital. But he got home and he brought the pizza and he just literally ate, then walked up the stairs to go have a quick shower, and he screamed. Like, he screamed for me because he was in so much pain. He screamed for me, and I'm just like, you know, I ran after him and found him on the floor, just screaming, because he was in so much pain. I'm trying to assess him, and he can't even talk. He's just like screaming and grunting and pounding the ground like he's in so much pain, rolling over. Like, I've never seen my husband in that much pain ever, and it broke my heart because I know his pain tolerance, and it's not grand in any way. And so to see him in that much pain, I know that it's serious, and I know that, like, it's really, really bad. So I immediately dash for the phone and I call 911 really, you know, right away. And they ask me a couple questions: where I'm located, what's up, what's going on with him, is he breathing, is he sweating, is he pale, which is this necessary? Yeah. Is this necessary, ma'am? Ma'am, yeah. Wow. Look at the trees. But yeah, they asked a ton of questions, and then, you know, they said the ambulance will be on its way. I asked how close, how long will it take to get here, and then they explained to me where it's at, and that it will be a few minutes. So then I'm just like, I tried not to panic. The one thing I did was, thank God I remained calm. Like, on the inside, my heart's breaking, but I remained calm, and I try to help him just to be as comfortable as possible, which was, and no position that he was in was comfortable. He was just in a lot of pain. I had to help him get like shorts on. Then he was laying there in discomfort, but then we're waiting for the ambulance to come. And sorry guys, Zoe is just, yeah. Are you becoming an influencer as well? Are you? Do you want to be a YouTube influencer? Yeah, I think you do. Upon waiting for the ambulance, I tried to assist him in getting his pants on and whatnot. Then, you know, I tried to help move him to the hallway, and it was just so hard, but he just got on his knees and he just like crawled through our main level into the hallway, like crunched over, and was just like screaming. Like, oh my, just the flashback of that is just, it was just terrible to witness. Like, he was like army crawling and screaming. It was like, I'm like, yeah, and just like screaming along the way just to get from our bedroom to the hallway. Hubby just called. He's on his way. Oh my gosh, this is what I typically say to you guys. He's on his way home. But yeah, hubby just called, and he is just touching base because it's in the morning. So it's like 9 o'clock. I slept last night, but I woke up so early because it's so different. I'm sleeping in my bed without my husband, and he's in the hospital. It doesn't lead to comfort or a good night's rest in any way, shape, or form. So I was awake early, and so, you know, he's calling to just touch base. But yeah, long story short, like, that's what happened. So the ambulance, I was explaining that just moving him from the bedroom to the hallway, and so that's how he moved there, and it was just calm and helpful. And the other girls, I mean, they were good. They were all really good. But the other two were crying. You know, Charlotte and Gabrielle were crying, and it was just hard. So the ambulance came, and, you know, they came up, and thank God for paramedics. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, I guess because they're trained to be so calm, it just doesn't come across as really rushed. So when they came all the way upstairs, they're like standing there. The guy literally walked up the stairs in slow motion. Then he come, and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe they're used to situations and realize, I guess, I don't know if they're not a lot of them aren't fatal, or they're not fatal or like severe. I don't know, but I don't know how you can know that without assessing the patient. So like, they walked up the stairs in slow motion, came up, just leaned against the wall, standing there talking to him, How do you feel? What's going on? Like, I'm not even kidding you in that tone. Like, what are the symptoms? And they just kept standing there. It took about 10 whole minutes for them to stand up there while he's like in pain and he can barely answer these questions. And then in my mind, I was like, it wasn't fast enough. To him, to Aaron, it wasn't fast enough. And I was just thinking, I know they're trained to be calm about situations and to handle them in a calm manner, but I felt like that was just like really slow. I'm trying not to say anything ill or negative because I don't know if this is what they're trained to do or what. It just seemed like it wasn't fast enough. The worst part was for me, it was like he's in so much pain, and like I'm thinking I wanted him to move from this room out into the hallway where there's you know, and I'll show you guys the hallway area, which is much wider, and you can have you know, I was thinking the stretcher can come up and they can pass it over there instead. And I, you know, and instead they didn't use a stretcher. Like he can't even walk, and they picked him up underneath his shoulders, and he's like walking. I've never seen him do this before, where he's like dangling down the stairs, and it was just really, really sad to see. And then they put him on the stretcher outside. So yeah, he rushed to the hospital, was in a ton of pain, and then after the ambulance went, the girls and I hurried, trying to get ourselves together, got myself dressed, got the baby dressed, got, you know, we actually prayed for a minute or two before we went, and Michaela read a Bible verse out that she encountered in her homeschool this week, because the girls do devotions, and she was sharing the message. So we read that quick Bible verse before we headed out to go see Dad at the hospital. By the time we rolled up at the hospital, he was already in a room, just all drugged up, to say the least. He was on something, because he said they gave him the strongest thing that was not even, it was outside of fentanyl. I don't know what meds that was what they gave him again. I forgot, but it like just took away all the pain. So he's in there just waiting to get scans and whatnot. But at the end of the day, they thought it was a kidney stone, and they weren't sure. So they send him in for CAT scan, and it was a kidney stone, but it's a honker. It's a honking kidney stone. Like, it's huge. They said it's like 7-8 millimeters. That's how big it is. And like, if you got a ruler, you can see how big that is on the inside. And they said that what he was going through was equivalent to childbirth. It's yeah, apparently having a kidney stone is equivalent to childbirth, especially when they're big and huge. They hurt. So the doctor, the funny thing is too, the doctor, we know the doctor, which was really cool, because I knew that Aaron was in good hands. And so, yeah, that's what's currently happening. So he's got a giant kidney stone. He's going to be needing surgery. Luckily, it's like a day surgery, so, or a minor surgery. It's going to require the doctor to go in and assist him to take this out, because this kidney stone will not pass on its own. They have to go, the whole point of this surgery is for the doctors to go in and blast it, the kidney stone, and then they're going to have to put a stent in there, which will help to like drain all the particles and the pieces that are up there, because it's not going to come out on its own. It just sounds painful altogether, and he's currently in there kind of waiting. He's on a waiting list right now for surgery. He's on all types of meds. And last night they gave him, like I said, a super strong medication. But today it's actually very much localized. So they're actually giving him needles in his shoulder blades and whatnot for the pain. It's just kind of ironic, because like, this is the kind of stuff I told Aaron initially, go to the hospital, go get checked. And he's like, no, man, like they're going to have to give me needles and a CAT scan. I don't want to have to do that. Now he has to do all those things in there, and it could have prevented it from growing to the size that it did. Yeah, it was just, it gets so frustrating, because, you know, men don't listen sometimes when it comes to these things. And I know it's not all men. There are women out there too who are afraid of needles, who are afraid to go to the doctor and whatnot. But guys, if there's anything to take from this, it's go get yourself checked. Go, if you feel something's wrong, go check it out. Don't sit on it. Don't sleep on it. Don't let it sit and fester, because it will, the problem is only going to manifest, and it will be larger in the end. And right now, you know, the very things that he was afraid of, he's afraid of needles. he's stuck with an IV in his arm. He's constantly getting shots instead of, I mean, last night, because it was so immediate and because the pain was so intensified, they immediately gave him like the harshest meds they could find to take, just to like wipe away the pain. But now the pain is there, and it's just, they're just now giving him local stuff to help keep the pain at bay. But he's currently in there and he feels discomfort. It hasn't subsided completely, whereas in last night he didn't feel anything, but now he can feel the pain, just like, you know, kind of like the way he must have been dealing with it all week. And it's just, yeah, it's a lot. I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying not to break down and cry. And also, you know, this is the part of me that wanted to be a nurse, is that I can tolerate this stuff. I guess, you know, people would say I have a high pain tolerance because I've endured a lot, like with having all 4 C-sections, having a tummy tuck, having tubal reversal, having, you know, my wisdom teeth out, having a breast reduction. I've had my fair share of surgeries and IVs and all that jazz. So I'm very familiar with that. And like, if you guys aren't familiar too much with, you know, even the things that I just listed, you guys, you know, I do share my story on my own personal challenge. I do share my story in regards to my surgeries and stuff on my channel, Beauty by Chick, and it's listed down below. Because I know people are probably gonna, I know people might ask, like, oh wow, that's a lot of surgeries. Oh, okay. So that's why I'm putting it out there. It's not to just plug myself, guys. It's not, honestly, it's not about that. But I'm just trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because it just crossed my mind that people are probably gonna ask. And so in the midst of that, let me just put that out there so you guys know where to go and find that. There should be a link somewhere, either in the description box or on my main page. But it's, you know, that's where I do share my different stories. I just even made a video about like my tummy tuck on there. So yeah, like that's what's going on with hubby right now. He's in the hospital. We are going to go visit him later on today. He's currently waiting to have surgery. He's on the list, and honestly, it's kind of sad because he can't eat anything. He can't drink anything. And he's, you know, being given fluids intravenously, so we know that he is staying hydrated, but he can't, his mouth is dry. He can't have anything to eat or drink. And so we're praying that his surgery goes today, you know, because if it does, then at least like he'll be able to eat at some point. Like he's literally probably losing weight right now because he's sitting in there, not sitting. He's just laying down strapped to a bed, and he can't eat or drink anything until the surgery comes. The surgeons, the urologist spoke to him and said that they're going to try their hardest to get the surgery done today, but keep in mind, like, he may get bumped only, you know, if they just can't find the room, which kind of sucks because that would mean that he's gonna have to be in there another night. And, you know, today's Friday, then it's Saturday, and, you know, yeah, so, and it's just hard. It's hard to sleep with him without him here. And it's just, yeah, during the midst of this all, I was trying my hardest to not think the worst and think anything, you know, because like I'm thinking, I just try to be rational. I'm like, okay, whatever he was dealing with it was gradually building. It was gradually getting to that point. So I'm thinking, okay, it's not, I'm just trying to think positive and just trying I'm not the doctor, so I'm just waiting for the doctor to hear exactly what's happening before I jump to any conclusions. So that's what I did, and now we're here. So I just want you guys, those of you who love us, that know us and love us, and who are constantly showing support, just to pray for him and pray that he recovers really well. I'm pretty sure like it's not anything too intense, but he is going under. He has to for this surgery. And so yeah, with anything where you're going under, you know, you just have to, you have to take it. Even IV, people can, all types of things can happen from just even going under. So just pray that everything goes well, and he, you know, he recovers really quickly, and his surgery happens today. He gets to come home today. So I had a vlog that I originally have. I guess you guys will see. I couldn't, because of the situation and how distraught we were, I didn't vlog anything before on the way there, because it's just, I mean, no one has time to do that in the moment. I don't know how a lot of daily vloggers get to capture these moments, but even though I'm a vlogger and a full-time vlogger, I don't think, I know it's so bad, but in the midst of those situations, I'm trying to help my family. My focus isn't, let's grab out the camera. So when we got to the hospital and he had to go do like a urine sample, that's when I flipped out the camera a little bit and tried to talk to you guys for a moment. So it's not like tremendous footage by any means, but you guys will see it in the upcoming vlog video. But I just wanted to get this out there today because this is current. It's in the moment, and yeah, that's what's happening. So thank you guys for watching. And like I said, if you are in any pain, if you feel anything and you're undergoing, you know someone who is and they're not getting checked, please tell them to get checked, or you just go to the hospital. I know also, I guess I'm taking it for granted being that we do live in Canada, like we're able to just go to the hospital, and I understand that in the States a lot of people don't even have health insurance, so that's a different story. But if you do have health insurance, like, don't hesitate to go if it's just like a fear that's holding you back, because it could be something worse and you don't want that. So I'm going to wrap this video up because I realize it's super long already. But thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you guys are having a great day and are in good health. Much love, y'all. Bye.